Hey guys, my name is Jeff Rojas, and you're watching either my YouTube channel or my Facebook channel at the present moment. So today marks 5 years since I became a full-time freelancer, meaning I haven't taken a W-2 in years. For those of you that are not in the United States, that's the taxable income when you're an employee. I'm a full-time freelancer for the last 5 years, and while that doesn't sound like a lot of time for those of you that are shooting for a lot longer than 5 years, 5 years is a big point in my life right now. 5 years this has been the longest job I've ever had. I think prior to this, the longest job I had was about 2 years long. So to do something for 5 years has been extraordinary. And I know there's a lot of people trying to sell pipe dreams. You see these different ads on Facebook and these different ads on YouTube about how to make money as a photographer that are charging you information. And rather than do something that's a premium content or charging you, I want to give you or give back to the community that helped me build something for the last 5 years. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on kind of how I focused on making this a full-time career and the steps that I took to make that happen, and some tips and some guidelines on what to do when you're feeling down and you're not sure what to do. So let's go with that. The first thing is persistence. This job is not easy. This job is one of the most difficult things I've actually ever done. Cold calling every single day. Knowing that you're not working for someone else. You don't work 40 hours a week, right? There's no checking out at the end of the day. You're working, there's 168 hours in a week. You're probably working 80 of those at minimum. 80 if you're lucky, right? Between the marketing, the accounting, the management, the emails, the proposals, shooting, there's so much involved that most people don't discuss. So right off the bat, if you're thinking this is a cakewalk and that your sole job is to take pretty pictures, I'm here to tell you that's not the case. I'm here to go ahead and advise you that it's a lot more effort than that. It's a lot more work. So right off the bat, you have to think like a creative entrepreneur. You have to think like a business person. There's a lot of marketing. There's a lot of sales that goes on the back end of making this a successful business. The second thing is one thing that one of my mentors 5 years ago had relayed to me, and they related to me in a very negative connotation, but I'm going to relay it to you in a very positive one. And that's that things aren't what they used to be. The market isn't what it used to be. I know that one of my first mentors mentioned that they had gotten paid $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a day, and that was no longer their income. That times were changing and the positions were changing. And that's true. Things aren't what they used to be. But if you're looking at things cup half full and you're looking at it like an opportunistic person, you can see that the times are changing and there's opportunities in the marketplace if you're willing to look for them. That doesn't mean that everything is failing. It doesn't mean that everything's going out the water. It's just those people that cannot adapt to the current market are failing. And they're scared and they're perpetuating those fears on you. And that's not okay. So I'm here to go ahead and advise you that I've had to look at this business as a business. I've had to look at art as a business in order to move forward. So what I do every single day is adapt to the marketplace, looking at where the next opportunity is so I'm not falling behind. The second that you feel comfortable, that's when you fail. So just know that you need to adapt to an ever-evolving market. You have to learn how to look at other opportunities in other markets. So here's an instance. This isn't a sales pitch. This is literally my mindset when I wrote my book, Photographing Men. When I wrote Photographing Men, it was a really big business move for me. It was a business decision, solely a business decision. There weren't many books in the marketplace speaking about photographing men. Now, that doesn't mean that I was the only person photographing men at the present moment. During that, I was just the first person to look at that as an opportunity in the marketplace to go ahead and diversify myself from the rest of the crowd. And I looked at things as a business person, right? So since that point, it was one of the top selling books on Amazon. That wasn't necessarily just because of good marketing strategies on the behalf of the company. If anything, the company that sponsored my first book ended up laying off 4,000 people a month prior to the book being released, which meant that my book was doomed to fail. So I had to learn how to market that book on my own. So I took it into my own hands. I actually created some campaigns in the back end, put some marketing dollars towards the project, learned how to create social media marketing for this specific book, and pushed the crap out of it for it to be successful. So it was the top selling book, not just because I had a chance to write a book and it was the top selling one just by happenstance. I had to work on the back end for everyone to see that. And that was a business card. That was a business decision for me to do that. To have a top selling book on Amazon is an amazing thing. It's an amazing business card and an amazing achievement. But that achievement wouldn't have happened if I didn't put my work and effort into that. And it becomes a business decision. So everything that I've done over the last 5 years has been very tactical. Every single thing that I do is with purpose. And that's the third thing we're going to discuss, purpose. Most of you are creating without purpose, without a defined path in life. You're just creating to create. And that's one of the worst things that you can do. If you don't have purpose and you don't have focus, you don't necessarily have a destination that you're working for, and you may just be stagnant. You're not going to find something or a place to go, a place to grow. You're going to find that you're not growing as fast as you'd like to be. So if your focus, for instance, is to run a multi-million-dollar company or make $60,000 a year, then that should be your focus. Not shooting content for free, or not hanging out with friends, or not going out and partying. Your focus should be on that specific effort. I don't believe in dreams, I believe in goals. So for those of you that are dreamers, turn those dreams into goals so that you have focus. Okay, I know a lot of you are worried because this may not necessarily be something that you're great at first. The persistence is a part of that. In order for you to grow, you have to practice. You have to do that every single day. As an instance, the first time that I went on a platform called Creative Live, I bombed. It was terrible. I apologized to everybody on set. I could have done so much better. But it was a learning process for me. I learned to own up to my mistakes. I learned to be a better presenter as an instance. It was an amazing transition for me learning from my mistakes. You have to learn from your mistakes every single day. Be persistent in those. Those are things that you want to go ahead and analyze and look at and grow from. Don't just take a beating and get depressed and get forlorn. Learn from those mistakes and grow from those mistakes. And the last thing I'm going to go ahead and mention is just don't take no for an answer. Your family, as an instance, is probably going to tell you, no, that's not a good idea. Or your friends are telling you that, no, that's not a good idea. This is something that is not a job, it's a lifestyle. If you want to be an entrepreneur, it's a lifestyle. If you want to be an artist, it's a lifestyle, right? The easiest way to convince people that you're capable of doing this is just to do it. Solely just to do it. Doesn't matter who you are or who's telling you that you can't do it. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong every single time. I know, for instance, my family finally has come to an understanding for what I do every single day. Being a photographer was something that they were kind of weirded out by originally, but now they understand and they're welcoming and they praise me for it and they tell their friends and they hold their head up high. But I had to prove that to them. So don't just expect people to be on board with what you want to do. You have to prove that you can do it. Don't wait around for their acceptance. Don't wait around for their yes. Just do it. And overall, don't take no for an answer. Focus on growing yourself. Focus on learning from your mistakes. Focus on being persistent and always looking for opportunities. 5 years in, I hope for a very, very, very long career. But I figured this is an easy way for me to give that information to maybe somebody out there who's struggling with wanting to do this as a full-time career. It's not easy, but if you really want it, it's possible. Thank you guys.